This is still the most amazing, and I say this, I am amazed at what I am seeing right now. I'm going to try my best, dear friends, today, this morning, to go through this with you as much as possible and to try to give you what I think is the best review without merely saying, aren't we great? Isn't Trump terrific? I'll tell you this, but I'll give you a reason why. I'm not just gonna be a glad hander. We have so much to say. And I want to put in the context of things. And I do this a lot, and I've done it all my life, and it's almost like a thought experiment. And it works like this. One day I'm going to look back and I'm going to tell people then about what happened now. And I'm going to tell people in the future, remember 2024. Remember 2024. And that's one of the best ways to catalog what is happening right now. It all changed in 2024. Everything. It all changed drastically. In 2024, it was the end of the left-right paradigm. 2024 was the wrecking ball that was supposed to be the pendulum. The wrecking ball destroyed things. It wasn't just we shifted back. Oh, no. It was a destruction. It was a destruction. And we can attribute it. Well, is it because of Trump? Is it because of the time? We don't know. 2024 was the event that happened. Every now and then, people will try their best to explain to you what happened in 19. Let me see. There was an event in this country. It was February the 9th, 1964. I wasn't even 6 years old then. And that was the night that the Beatles appeared on Ed Sullivan. February the 9th, 1964. Everything changed. Everything changed. Everything changed. Ask anybody in today's, well, my generation of music. They will tell you that's when it changed. Beatles changed everything. Changed everything. Now we can sit there, we can say, well, why? That I don't know. We can talk about this all day long. Who knows? But I'm telling you, 1964, and here we are 60 years later, in essence, basically, it changed again. 2024. And we're going to look back at this. And we're going to say, this is when it changed. And again, there were, Freddie and the Dreamers, the Stones, a lot of people were on Ed Sullivan, but the Beatles. Do you know that the next day you couldn't find a guitar? You know that people started writing their own songs. Dylan kind of had that moment, but not like the Beatles. Elvis had that moment, but not like the Beatles. That was cataclysmic. And again, I'm not asking you whether you agree with it, whether you like them. That's not the point. Remember, nobody cares what we think. It's just the way it is. 2024 changed everything. It was a conflation of everything. It was 4 years of this insanity. And two things happened. 2024 will be known for two things. One, two moments, a week or so before the election. Number one, Joe Biden says garbage. The only garbage I saw. Now, they thought for sure we've got this comedian who will be forever forgotten. We will forget his name. Do you know his name? Do you know the comedian's name? Who did the joke about Puerto Rico? And by the way, there was a reason. There was some garbage. There was some story about Puerto Rico and garbage. There really was. Not that Puerto Rico's garbage, but you remember his name? No. you remember his name? I don't. Anybody? I don't know. I don't know how he's going to be received in his world of lefty comedy, but we're not going to remember that. Remember that name? No. But that changed everything. In 2014, there was a comedian named Hannibal Buress. You know who he was? Hannibal Buress was doing a little routine. He was doing a piece in a Philly comedy club. 2014. His name was Hannibal Buress. And he said, I don't know where this Bill Cosby thinks he is, talking about black men now pulling up their pants and whatever. If you knew Bill Cosby, the R word, I'm going to say roped a number of people. He roped them, okay? Because you got this? And somebody had a camera. Somebody had a cell phone camera. Somebody recorded him making this joke. It was recorded and blew up the world of Bill Cosby. Why? I don't know. We knew, we heard, people said for years Bill Cosby was drugging women and roping them, okay? Repeatedly, he was known. Also, it was a very common practice at the Playboy Mansion. That place will never, ever, ever be truly understood as what it was. These were predators. And there were people that you're going to find out in those days. Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, Ryan O'Neal. That world was degeneracy. Nothing that's going on now could even come near that because this was before cell phones, and this was when the studios had an absolute lock on it. Nothing you're seeing now, nothing with Diddy. Diddy is nothing compared to what they did. And I'm not saying Warren Beatty or Jack Nicholson per se, but I'm saying, but during that, when women were throwing it, during those times, you cannot believe the stories. You will not. Nothing is new here. It's just reported differently. Well, let me go back to what I'm saying. And this is critical. But before I do, my friends, I want to remind you of something. As you have said, there is this wonderful meme that I picked up today. This wonderful meme. And I love this so much. It was great. It was a little bit of a, I don't know what you want to call it, a glyph or not a gif. It was I guess a meme. I guess you could say that. And it was one of the best ones ever. And I thought it was so interesting. I want to share it with you. I thought this was so good. I want to show it because it's preparewithlionel.com. This is my crusade. I want to get people around the world to understand that the apocalypse is coming. Okay? You can kind of laugh. But I'm going to show you this one thing. This was this one piece. So, here we go. You have these people walking through a street, and you go to my Twitter or X, Lionel Media. It says, "Dance like no one's watching, love like you've never been hurt." Who is it? Who said that? Anyway, and it says, "Make friends like there will be supply chain or social infrastructure collapse, and you will have to rely on each other for basic survival." Absolutely perfect. Dance like no one's watching, love like you've never been hurt, and make friends like there will be supply chain or social infrastructure collapse, and you will have to rely on each other for basic survival. Please go to my Twitter. There was a wonderful piece. Somebody at Halloween was handing out copies of 1984 to kids. There is going to be something like you cannot believe, ladies and gentlemen. Just get ready for this. Here's one for you. Look at this. You read Lou Rockwell. I love Llewellyn Rockwell. Lou Rockwell every day. And this was hang on a minute. Let me see. I had it. Let me show you this much. Again, you got to go to my what? You got to go to my. Here's a great quote from James Boswell, 18th century. He who has provoked the lash of wit cannot complain that he smarts from it. In any event, let me show you something. I want to read this to you. This is so, God, there's a lot. So sit back and read. I'm not even done yet. Got LeBron James. We were talking about him and all this kind of shit. But I want to show you something. This is the story. This was the story. Hang on a minute. This is worth everything. This is worth everything. Stand by. Stand by. I gotta find this. Just a minute. Keep talking amongst yourselves. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And it goes like this. If Kamala wins the presidential election on Tuesday, Americans will be told that the final vote count is a sacred number that was practically handed down from Mount Sinai, engraved on a stone tablet. Any American who casts doubt on Harris's victory will be vilified like one of those J6 protesters sent to prison for parading without a permit in their U.S. Capitol. Actually, anyone who doubted the 2020 election results was being prominently denounced as traitors even before the Capitol clash. And there's a wonderful article, and I implore you to read it. It's called, this is by James Bovard from the Mises Group. Will Tuesday's vote counts be another sham Biden-Harris statistic? Read what is going on. Do not feel for a moment that while you feel this exuberance, do not take your eye off the enemy. Do not take your eye off. Do not think everything is great. Do not think that somehow we're going to win. We have nothing to worry about unless and until he swears himself, or they swear him in, and that's when the fun is going to start. I'm not trying to ruin your day. If everything is uninterrupted and there is no cataclysm, he is going to win. But dear friend, it's not over. These people are not going away. They're not going to say, okay, well, you won fair and square. Oh, no. They have plans B, C, D, E. They are ready to go. And I'm telling you, they are going to do everything in their power to say, see, they're going to try. And the easiest they can do is to interrupt your lifestyle through riot, disturbances, strikes, infrastructure glitches, problems, name it. It's going to be great. Believe me, there's nothing better than being in charge. But do not think that we are in the clear. Do not think that just because we are looking at actually 4 days, right? Or actually 5 if you think about it, counting today. Do not think so. Do not think so. And I'm telling you right now, don't live in fear, but prepare. Prepare with food, prepare with water, prepare with some type of currency, cash, gold, something, ammunition, but food. That is the easiest. We are going to lose our minds. If I ran the show, listen to me. If I ran the show, you don't want me to write out my plot. But if I were to do a movie, I would say, let's go through history. America has never, ever, 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 ever been without food. Never. Never. It's inconceivable. Electricity? Yeah. We've been without power for a week. You've heard this. We've been without, the plumbing didn't work. You've heard this, right? You've heard this. And then you always know it. Everything just comes back, but never food. Never. There's always been stuff that's open. You have never been before and seen lines of people. I one time saw, Mrs. Ellen and I saw, lines for a new Trader Joe's. I don't get Trader Joe's, but God bless you, okay? We saw lines of people, lines for Trader Joe's, and they were happy. And they had, security there. This is They were open. Imagine that in reverse. That's all. That's what I would do. So just remember, when I talk about prepare with Lionel, I'm not sitting here trying to talk a lot of nonsense. I'm not just saying, I am telling you, watch this. Watch for grid structures. Watch for also somebody else being blamed. Look for a low orbit, suborbital, detonation of some type of device, nuclear in style, but not one that is radiation, but just low yield, but something that will fry the grid, causing a Carrington class disaster. Remember the Carrington class disaster? Last time, what was it, 19th century, 1800s? There was every telegraph was burned out, and it was just a solar flare. That's the one. Imagine this group of people without their phones. Watch, if you will, and we'll get to this, but I just want you to understand something. Never turn your back. Never think the coast is clear. Never. I live in, I'm not paranoid. I'm just waiting because I know what I would do. And I don't know what's taking them so long. So just remember what's going on. Just remember what's going on. Don't ever think everything's groovy. Don't be paranoid. Don't be depressed, but understand what's happening. Understand what's happening. It's like there are people who have suffered from health problems. They have been told, we think we've got this cancer, but we're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to make sure that we do a double check. It could come back. Probably not, but don't ever say, not me. Never, ever. We wear seatbelts, most of us, because we have to, but there was a chance. I don't know anybody who's ever been killed in a car accident. I don't know. There were millions and millions and billions of people running around all the time, and nobody died. There are days and weeks. There's nobody's killed, but we wear seatbelts. We don't turn our back on seatbelts because nobody's ever. Some people have never been ever in a car accident. Never. 99% of everybody in New York has ever been the victim of crime. Never. But you hear about, oh my God, the train de Oregon, which is bad. But most people have never been involved. So always understand odds. Always understand. Be an observant observer, so to speak. Now, going back to what I said, 2024 was one thing. Two things happened. Number one, Joe Biden says, this was the most beautiful thing in the world. Joe Biden says, I've got this comedian joke. Remember, Hannibal Buress opened up the floodgates as to Bill Cosby. I don't know why. It just happened. All these actresses who said, but he did this to me. He roped me. I told you about this. We didn't care. Diddy, all of a sudden. Diddy. I was telling somebody the other day, there's a fellow named Busby who is the lawyer. I'm sure he's a fine lawyer. I promise you, if he doesn't collect 1 penny, the amount of money he's getting in advertising is worth everything he is ever. You know that name? Like it's like Morgan and Morgan from Tampa, by the way. Morgan and Morgan. Hi, I'm John. I'm Morgan. Used to be, you know his name. Used to be a Jacoby and Myers. Remember that one? In New York, Salino and Barnes, until one of them. All of a sudden, they knew everything about Diddy. Then one time, boom, all of a sudden, boom. And all these people are coming forward. All these people. Everybody. And lo and behold, yesterday, LeBron James, J-Lo, everybody on Diddy's party list happens to be right now, days before the election coming forward. There is not one person who says, I'm going to vote for somebody because LeBron James told me anything. He is a basketball star. Endorsements mean nothing. Newspaper endorsements mean nothing. So point number one, here comes Joe Biden. Joe opens his mouth and they take the garbage thing and turn it into the biggest. There were a number of things that happened before. The Brett Baer interview was one. which was fantastic. The Brett Baer interview. Second was the McDonald's stunt, as you call it. Brilliant. Absolutely the most brilliant thing anybody's ever seen. And it drives people crazy. Drive them crazy. Why? Because she said she worked at McDonald's. She said she works at McDonald's. He comes breaking through the door. The comedian made some comment about Puerto Rico. Here comes Joe Biden. Everybody's walking around. Trump comes out wearing a vest and a garbage truck, and the garbage theme is whatever. Next comes this man. If you told me now, if you told me, I'm going to say something. I'm just going to say it right now. This is, if you told me that Mark Cuban was transitioning, that Mark Cuban was taking hormones, that Mark Cuban one day is going to come out as Marcella Cuban or Mary Cuban or so. I'm not saying he is, but there is something. He got so creepy, so fast, so weird. Something. When Caitlyn Jenner comes out slamming you because you're acting like a woman, he's come across as this. Now think about this: impuissant, feminine in a bad way. Feminine is great for a woman, not good for a man, not good for a woman. Weak, sissified, fey, snarky, snotty, slimy, smarmy, creepy, weird. This changed everything.
You never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple.
One more time.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple.
One more time. I don't think you heard that.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple.
Okay. All of a sudden, overnight, women are going crazy. Not all. Running to their cars, getting made up, going online and saying, and trying to do their as they're posing sexily. Well, this strong woman is a feminist. Well, this strong woman. Hey, America, I voted for Donald Trump and I'm a strong woman. You idiot. You just inspired everybody running to social media. You don't understand what you just did. Trump's biggest problem were with women. E. Jean Carroll. Remember Dusty Saddles, or what's her name? The Butana, the Stormy Daniels. Remember her? Oh, yeah. Remember her, how she did? Oh, yeah, I forgot about her. E. Jean Carroll. That's a joke. She turned out to be a freak. People said, this is going to really hurt. People's really going to hurt her. Oh, it hasn't. Two, you got a porn star. And let me explain something to you. I don't know how to say this, but let me explain something. Nobody respects somebody who is a prostitute. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nobody respects it. Whether it's legal or not, I'll let other people decide. Nobody respects it, especially this one. This one looks like some fallen, it's sad. You know, you get to it, you look kind of rode hard and put up wet. That's Stormy. Okay, that's number one. E. Jean Carroll, batshit crazy, out of her mind. Okay, so that's two. All right, so there you go with that. We live in a world right now where we're kind of saying, like, you know this Drea De Matteo, whatever, who played whatever was from The Sopranos. She does the OnlyFans thing. Okay, you need the money. I understand that. Nobody respects that. Nobody says, hey, good for you. Autonomy. I'm not saying it should be illegal or anything like that. Nobody likes this. Nobody says, hey, that's terrific. Good for you. Good for you. No. But they do love the notion of strong women. Everybody does. Most people have, listen to me. Most people have and had a mom. Most people looked up to their mother. Most people remember the first woman you ever met in your life that you connected with, most of the time. I know there are exceptions. The woman who said, I'm going to protect you. This is what a woman is. That's so Freud. I mean, this is where all of the lattice work is done. Just like the father is the first time a lot of women understand what a man is. This is important. A strong woman. This Mark Cuban concept or comment inspired women to come forward, meeting Trump, talking to Trump. We love Trump. He's completely counteracting, diluting, and basically providing an antidote to this specious claim that somehow Trump was against either IVF, women, or something. I don't even know where that came from. They just said it. If somebody said, Kamala Harris hates Muslims. Why? I don't know. Just say it. And then the next one, she hates Muslims. I wish we would do that. I wish, as an experiment, somebody would say, just come up with this. We'll have a hat or write some, just make things up. Kamala Harris hates women. Okay. And Muslims. And we have Muslims in the community. And Muslims, by the way, the Muslim community is voting for Trump overwhelmingly. Because let me tell you what's happening. You are being lied to like you cannot believe regarding what's happening in the, quote, Middle East. I'm not even going to go there because you don't want to hear it. I am so through with this media. How about the White House changing the actual statements of the president? This is illegal. Mainstream media are dead. So anyway, back to what I said. Thanks to Mark Cuban and Pops Biden, two. One was the garbage thing, and now the strong women. This came forward. Pilgrim said, remember the Moral Panic, Burning Beetle albums? Yes, I do. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance. Thank you, George. Cuban wants a cabinet position with Harris administration. Perhaps. And Evan Webb says, I have traveled with the Mavericks and have met Cuban a few times. He really does look and sound different. It is strange and creepy to me. Something is wrong. Something has changed. Something. We know this. We know this. There's one thing that we're pretty good at being able to do is to tell people when things have changed. Now, I want you to look at this, and I want you to understand what we are seeing. This is the message of Donald Trump.
Today, a new step that I'll take to get emergency price relief to all Americans. On day one, I will sign an executive order directing every federal agency to immediately remove every single burdensome regulation driving up the cost of goods and drive up the cost of goods. Furthermore, I will create a new cabinet position for a senior member of my administration who will be tasked exclusively with doing everything in the federal government's power to reduce the cost of living. All agencies will be judged daily on their progress in slashing the cost of household items. We're going to slash the cost, and this will be the largest and fastest, most aggressive regulatory reduction in the history of our country. And it's going to happen very fast. Using just very conservative estimates, we will save the typical household $7,000 in the first year alone. We will end the inflation nightmare immediately and create a record jobs boom, the likes of which you've never seen before.
One of the things which also needs to be done, and this is a drastic move, is to remove these Washington bureaucratic, this is truly the deep state, the senior executive services, this weird kind of civil service Washington, these bureaucrats. The late great Harry Brown was a friend of mine. He ran for president. He was the Libertarian candidate, and I loved him. And he said one time, he said, if he were president, Washington would be a ghost town. I thought to myself, he said, why do we need all these people? I said, well, Harry Brown said, why do we have the government run, let's say, the Grand Canyon, the Park Service? Why? Let's go to people who spend the majority of their time working in the world of hospitality and the like. And I guess amusement, entertainment. And let's have them run, let's say, Yosemite or whatever. Not that they can do anything, but a service who bids, who can come under budget. Do you think the people that run, bad example, Disney World, but do you think they know a little bit about it? Why do we have all of this governmental structure? Why? Edie Crowley says, my son, known here as Flojo, saw Trump at PPL Center in Allentown on Tuesday. He took pictures, big crowd. Oh, enormous. It's an enormous crowd. We'll talk about the Arizona. I've got that coming up. But the first thing you would do is I'm going to destroy this system called Washington. We don't need this. There are certain things, Department of Energy, Education, get rid of these. Done. Get rid of these. The public will absolutely, positively, you don't want me to see me what I would do in charge of education. Now, remember this woman, Shanahan? She spoke last night.
Despite the novelty of seeing my name on here next to a bubble.
This is Tucker Carlson. This woman, I'm sorry to say, was a dingbat who was married to one of the Google guys, and she's a billionaire. That's the only reason why Bobby Kennedy Jr. ever teamed with her. And don't be surprised if ever they did the nasty, because that's Bobby Kennedy, because he can't keep it in his pants. And you know how every woman he's got you know how that thing goes. Now she's doing things which is so ridiculous. Number one, first of all, she's a dingbat. Fine. She's a billionaire. So what? Number two, she supposedly has her ballot here. This is illegal on so many counts. First of all, why would you have the original ballot? And she's filling in. Okay, fine. Okay, this is a great little symbolic gesture. I understand this, and I get it. But listen.
So, despite the novelty of seeing my name on here next to a bubble, I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
You had me there. You had me there until you screamed. Okay. All right. Now understand something. This was Arizona. This is Tucker Carlson. Look at it. This isn't the stone. The largest concert ever. This is in the rafters, by the way. Look at this. This is at the very top. These are in the cheap seats. These are the nosebleed seats. Look at this. All of these people parked, left, came. Look at this. Just watch this. Just watch this. Now, just keep your eye on this. Tucker Carlson left Fox News and was most probably fired because of that Dominion thing or one of those cases, which, by the way, they can't ever talk about because of the fact that they had that lawsuit. Even though the Michigan Secretary of State is talking. Look at the crowds here. And look what these people did. They had him and they got rid of him because, well, he didn't fit the bill. That's when it all also started to change because we changed our likes and dislikes. We changed everything. Now, another thing, too, I want you to promise me today. I want you to remember these faces I'm going to show you. Every single one of them. And I want you to pledge with me that we will do everything in our power to tell everyone that we are never going to see, with maybe an exception of an independent venture, any film, movie, event that has any of these vile pedophiles, pederasts, degenerate freaks, and perverts, collectively called the Hollywood elite, who got together in a Zoom call to push for Kamala, who is going to lead our country into the toilet. Okay, watch this. Remember these faces, all of these. Remember these.
Hey, Scarlett.
Jumping on the
Scarlett. No, look at this. Scarlett. There's Scarlett. There's that Mark Ruffalo. There's Robert Downey Jr. Que come mierda. Don Cheadle, and these other people. I don't know who they are. These people think they are better than you. They think they're cooler than you. They think they're smarter than you. They think they're funnier than you and sexier than you. They are a part of a world that doesn't exist anymore. Look at this. This is Scarlett Johansson. And she wearing her Harris. This is a woman. Now, most probably, whatever their studios were told her, you are going to do this. We have received God knows how many. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they said stipends, monies, credits, whatever it is. We are going to deliver and return the favor. So watch this once without throwing up.
guys. Hi, Avengers.
Hey,
Thanks for
Scarlett.
Jumping on the call.
Whoa. I think you mean assembling. I said assembling.
Don, that's pretty good.
No, that was funny.
Scarlett, it is our pleasure to come together and to get the vote out this election. Come on.
Yeah, how can we be of service?
Well, how about we start with what our voting plans are going to be, who we're going to bring to the polls with us, that sort of thing. Just
I think Kamala Harris needs a catchphrase.
Ooh.
Now, Robert Downey Jr. cannot possibly be as cool as he think he is. And by the way, right now he is on Broadway at the Lincoln Center, dying. This play. In fact, believe it or not, they're thinking about forcing people to watch it instead of waterboarding. That's right, unconfirmed intel sources, instead of waterboarding and mild testicular torture, they're making people watch this play. What's it called? Goodman or McNeil. They say in the world of bad, it redefines it. Now watch Mr. Funny.
that sort of thing. Just
I think Kamala Harris needs a catchphrase.
Ooh, yes, definitely a catchphrase.
How about this? I'm just off the top of my head.
Now, this is supposedly funny. Understand something. Let me just remind you of this. This was done ahead of time. This was written. They're not just winging this. A Hollywood writer, somebody who's involved in big multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar productions, if you think about it, put this together. This is the best that they have. This is it, okay? And not only that, this is supposed to pull you, energize, and direct you into voting for this mushmouth, gibberish spewing dork.
I can do this all day.
Shut up.
I hate it.
Oh,
You see this? This is funny, huh? He needs a catchphrase. One more time. This is okay, Downey. You're gonna say we need a catchphrase. Follow this.
that sort of thing. Just
I think Kamala Harris needs a catchphrase.
Ooh, yes, definitely a catchphrase.
how about this? I'm just off the top of my head. I can do this all day.
Shut up.
I hate it.
Okay.
I mean, it's original, but
What about something punchier like
Ooh, boom. You looking for this?
Iron Man 2? Everybody loved it.
okay. Again, I think we're just trying to get out the vote.
Kamala forever.
That's better.
Okay, how about I'm down with democracy? It's just clean, it's simple.
Okay, I like that.
It's hard to argue with that.
Kamala Harris down with democracy.
Oh, yeah. I'm Kamala Harris, and I say down with democracy.
I don't know if that sounds the way we want it to sound, though.
I think we just need, can we get some production though?
Jarvis?
My name's not Jarvis, but whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right. Down with democracy.
Down with democracy.
Is that what we mean, though?
Yeah, together we're gonna tear down democracy.
Will you stop playing heroic music under yourselves?
I'm Kamala Harris, and I am down with democracy. Did I sound enough like her on that one?
That was great. How many Golden Globes have you been nominated for? I'm just curious.
Yes. All right, that was awesome.
I hate these people. I know hate's a strong word. I know you're not supposed to say hate. I despise, I loathe, I abhor these people. First of all, it goes back to me in saying that they honestly think you don't understand something. They actually think they are cool, but I'm cool on the stratospheric level. Cool, almost this divine right, imbued, injected with an uber hyper sense of coolness you will never, ever, ever be able to replicate. Cool, better, beautiful, rich, gated off, Malibu, gated, segregated from the hoi polloi, from the flotsam and jetsam of humanity. I despise these people. I want to see independent film. I want to see the theater system destroyed. Not the theater. Well, that's another one too. The movie production. I want all of this to be turned over to people with an iPhone, putting together something different. These are, put it this, let me explain to you. If I took Hollywood, whatever this thing is called, and I could somehow put them on an island and just let the island float out, whatever that particular metaphor would be, you would see sex crimes, sexual victimization. These are pederasts, perverts, paraphiles, as my friend calls them, PDF files. They are the worst of the worst of the worst. They can't compete with what Hollywood was before. So whatever they tell you, and Mark Ruffalo, whatever, that's the one. And Robert Downey Jr., I thought you were smart. I thought because deep down inside, the whole shtick is, look how smart I am. I'm smarter. My clipped. It's like that fellow. Have you seen this fellow, Destiny? He thinks I can talk faster than you. And somehow by accelerating the particular velocity of my speech, I'm going to confuse you or dupe you into thinking that what I'm saying is brilliant by virtue of how fast and how quickly I speak. I despise these folks. I think I made myself very, very clear. I despise these people. Let me see. Who do we have here? Ladies and gentlemen, Maurice Houston says, Americans protect mothers and sisters. As well we do. Sparky says, MEK stooge. Rudy Giuliani lied about Reagan saying that we had to have Israel's back. Reagan figuratively told Israel to go F themselves in a major way, at least twice during his presidency. I saw this last night, Sparky. I was watching a piece with Judge Napolitano and that retired colonel, that Southern gentleman, and he said precisely that. This is another story. I was watching again this hyperbolic lie that is being stated, especially regarding the damage suffered by Iran. BP celebrity downs with democracy. Oh, that's terrible. Carla, the cooking CEO, says, in the vomitorium after watching. Indeed, hitting that gag reflex. Thank you, Jean Romaine. I hate these people. I despise these people. You have no idea. The thing all my life, there's something about people. I was very lucky when I went to high school, where a lot of people go through these terrible times. I went to a Jesuit high school. It was all male, all boy, all whatever. Nobody impressed anybody else. Nobody. There were no women there. Nobody. There was nobody to impress. Nobody. I mean, hey, he's the, quote, captain of the football. We don't care about that. You were segregated into your particular group. You might be a chess nerd. You might be an academic person. You might be a jock. That's fine. But whatever it was, I just, it allowed people to kind of, develop whatever this was yourself. Later on, when I came into contact with this, I realized, my God, these people think they're better than me. They honestly think they're better than me. And it's one of those things which, And one of the reasons why, believe it or not, I truly believe that President Trump comes across so well is because people don't think this. Now, let me tell you something. Robert Downey Jr. is going to sit here, Mr. Clipped quick. And he, by the way, check out, who was it who, on Joe Rogan, who was the actor who suggested that when he, oh, some story about when he was trying to, when it might have been that actor who was doing that crazy math. Anyway, that when Downey couldn't get insured, the story was he said, give $1 million to him, and then when he needed the job, they wouldn't take his calls anymore. That kind of a deal. Anyway. Yeah, well, Mel Gibson backed him, but there was an actor on Joe Rogan, a black actor. It might have been that fellow who all of a sudden went crazy with the math and the numbers, and in any event, this story may be apocryphal, but let me just say this: Mr. Downey would support this.
Let me say something about this. We're here because we're fighting for a democracy. Fighting for a democracy. And understand the difference here. Understand the difference here. Moving forward. Moving forward. Understand the difference here. What we are looking at is a difference in this election. Let's move forward and see where we are. Because on the issue, for example, of freedom of choice, that's all right. That's all right. That's okay.
Now she's the black one. I don't even know what she's saying. So, Mr. Downey, this is what you want? Seriously? Seriously? Are you kidding me? This woman was asked whether she wanted to go on the Joe Rogan show. Joe Rogan said, here's the deal. This is my studio. Come on my studio, on my time. All right. My studio, my time. Okay. I'll give you as much as you want. Okay. Most people, most folks, most politicians would jump at the chance. He said, well, no, you can come to us. And he says, oh, no. You got to come to Austin. Can you imagine her doing 4 hours? So her campaign person, by the way, I'm not going to say anything, but check this fella out. See what he has to say about her declination.
Campaign contacted him too, and that they wanted Joe Rogan to travel to where Kamala Harris was campaigning versus Harris travel to Austin as Trump did. Firstly, is that accurate? And if it's true, why not just travel to Austin and go do that interview with Joe Rogan? Is it a missed opportunity to make inroads with particularly young white male voters?
Well, yeah, we've had good conversations with Joe Rogan and his team about a potential interview between the vice president and him. I'm not sure whether it'll work out scheduling wise in this campaign.
Can you believe this? This is what we're talking about here. This is it. Everything's changing. Everything is changing. And the best news for me is that this left-right nonsense is over with. This left-right paradigm is over. There are people who are coming forward, who are joining this theme, who have nothing to do with the prototypical historical versions of what it was then. That makes sense? I just sounded like Kamala. I just sounded like that then. Just now I thought, what the hell did that mean? What the hell did I just say? I don't even know what I just said. What did that mean? Doesn't matter what it means. But I forgot to tell you about one thing, which is very, very important. This word from our sponsor. Listen to this. New reports reveal that the average person has $674 in credit card debt. Plus, the total average consumer debt is a shocking $104,215 between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, and unsecured loans. Unfortunately, without outside assistance, many will continue digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole of debt. I've advised and counseled friends and clients for years who want to take back control of individual debt about this secret weapon that has helped so many consolidate everything owed into one affordable monthly payment. They even helped negotiate a settlement agreement that will allow you to pay less than the total balance. Listen, they settled over $275 million in debt, and they've helped people become debt-free in an average of 28 months. I've had such an incredible experience referring clients and friends that I wanted to partner with them here and introduce their services to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. If you want a helping hand to get out of debt, I absolutely, positively, and strenuously recommend booking a free consultation now by going to nodebtwithlionel.com. Look at the address. Once again, that's nodebtwithlionel.com. Use the link I've provided under the title. Listen to me. You can take control and learn how to get out of debt now. You know, my friends, just in peroration, I was thinking about the words of Evan Webb. He says, YouTube is in my way of what I want to say. This is beyond my ability to work around. Can we find a new place? No. Evan, I do not understand this. Thank you. I'm supposed to go someplace else so that you can type something because you have not been able to figure out how to spread words apart. Everybody else has figured out the code. I love you and I thank you so much for your generosity. But you want me to find someplace else, go to some other less important, less critical, less profitable, less whatever format, because you are not able to say something here. I know that's not the way you intended it, but that's the way it came across. It's like, what? I promise you, anything that you want to say, ask our friend Sparky. This man is able to come up with codes. He couldn't say the word good. Good. He was somehow blocked from saying good. You know what he did say? He said doog. He said doog. And doog became the word. So no, we're not going to leave and go to a different platform so that you can say something intermittently. No. And I know you were very kind and I appreciate it. But think about what you just said. Think about that. All right, folks, we're leaving. So I'm going over to Dumble. What is it? I don't know, but you can write what you. No. That's. I'm gobsmacked by that. Thunderstruck by that. That's all I'm going to say. But thank you. We are doing just fine. I want the greatest penetration. I want the greatest platform. This, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with this or not, is still the premier platform in the world today. Do you understand that? Do I make myself clear? Have I made myself clear? Evan says, sorry, this is extra bad at times. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. See, I understood clearly what you just said. Now, what we're looking at right now is the following. A complete and total change of everything. Number one, the destruction of the left-right paradigm. Number two, the ability to bring to the fore new people, new areas, new folks, new participants in the conversation. And I hate that word. Let's have a conversation. Conversation just sounds like a bunch of gibberish. We have to have a Conversation. No, I don't have a conversation. I know what this conversation stuff means. It's complete and total nonsense. This conversation. We're not going to have a conversation. It's ridiculous. Donald Trump is, simply put, the best thing available. And I would go to Robert Downey Jr. and others and say, do you have a business manager? Yes. Ask your business people how you would do better, unless you have some specific exemption to tax codes and the like. But tell me, who would do better in this country? A Kamala regime or a Trump? I would love to ask Mr. Downey, do you think that a country does better or worse if it does not enforce immigration standards? Do you think it does better or worse? That's all I'm going to say. Do you think it does better or worse? What do you feel about children being taken from their parents when a parent says, no, I do not want to provide you with or facilitate puberty blocking because I am your parent? You do realize that there are cases where families have been torn asunder by virtue of a child who, maybe by virtue of some, I don't know, somebody along the way, suggesting that maybe little Sally wants to be Sammy or vice versa. Do you want that? Do you believe in this incoherent, just go down the list, crime? Do you think that Tren de Aragua? I'm going to tell people this much. I'm going to show people, you know those Hollywood maps? Okay. I'm going to show people where you live. Everybody knows where I live. And I want you to see what it's like. Maybe you've driven into town in LA or something, because I know what you're doing. You're doing this because you're part of the system and everybody is telling you you have to do this. But there's no way that somebody who is purportedly as smart as you could actually listen to one word she said. If this were anybody else, if this were a movie, if I were to give you a movie and you knew nothing about this, and I just took a series of her speeches, and I said, what can you do with this character? You say, well, obviously this is a bumbling oaf. This is somebody who can't think clearly. Great. These are her words. These are the words from the woman that you are advocating. You actually want me to believe that you seriously have given this thought. You actually want me to believe that you honestly believe that she'll do a better job. You really want me to believe this? I mean, this has been a distortion of reality since the beginning. And many of us, many more than you would ever realize, many people have said, you know, I didn't start off being a real fan of Trump, but now I have to do it. Now I have to do it. I have to. There's no way around this. I don't understand. Did you see J.D. Vance? J.D. Vance was exquisite on Joe Rogan. Exquisite. I have never felt more safe, more confident that the role of the vice president, if indeed he takes the position, would be as accepted and as perfect as this. I mean, I've never felt so. There is no doubt. The only thing that can be done is if somebody looks the other way and they screw up the votes, the ballots, the counting, and that's what we're going to see. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what we're going to see. So, Evan Webb, thank you. Jean Romaine, Carla, the cooking CEO, BP, Sparky, Maurice Houston, Edie Crowley, George Lenz, Pilgrim Media. Thank you, dear friends. Let me also ask you right now, let me show you something. Yesterday, I made it finally. I was the guest on Lynn's Warriors. Yes, I'm telling you, I was a guest on Lynn's Warriors, and I want you to go and watch this. It was one of the best interviews I've ever done. This is the link. You were to go, and you're going to be a member of. You're going to subscribe to Lynn's Warriors. This is yesterday. One of the best ever. It was absolutely without peer. You understand what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Kent says, I've always laughed at the feminist "I'm a strong woman" trope. They are implying that the average woman is not strong. They are absurd. Well, I think sometimes it's weird. It's not that they're a strong woman. I think they're saying strong in terms of proud or some other form as opposed to being physically. Sparky says, everyone is blocked from saying Doog in super chats on Lionel Nation. YouTube is always altering the code. It's like walking in Bletchley Park during World War II at times. Not complaining, just saying. Yes, it would. But let me tell you something. Leave it to you, Sparky. Leave it to you. Leave it to you. Do you have any idea of what we have been through? Do you have any, and I'm not going to say it. Do you have any idea of what creators have been through? Any idea? Do you want me to, any clue? No. Absolutely not. Instagram will not allow me for some reason to go live. I have no idea why. I've got whatever it is. Instagram. You want to hear my stories with Instagram? No. How about Facebook? Anybody here? Who's been in Facebook jail? Anyone? Anybody been in Facebook jail? Remember that one? Remember this one? Mark says, anybody been in Facebook jail or yes? Anybody not been able to go live or yes? Instagram or anything else on that? Yes. You want to share these stories? Anybody want to go through this? That'll pick up the conversation. Sparky says, keep in mind, Israel has killed more Americans than Iran. Remember the Liberty. Absolutely. This is what our friend, what was his name? Was it Larry? Sparky, what's his name? Larry, whatever his name is, Larry something. Oh, absolutely. The Liberty. I like when Rudy Giuliani in this crazy speech said, and Israel has always been there for us. How's that again? I mean, with all due respect, that's like saying Ukraine is there for us. Ukraine and Israel, were it not for us providing these weapons, there would be no war. There would be nothing. Now, you could argue whether that's bad or good or whatever it is, but it's like, how is this again? What are we doing? What are we involved in? What are we doing? Let me explain something to you. Right now, this country, there are 750 military bases in 80 countries. And it may even be bigger because not all the data is, but this is about let's say roughly 800 military bases in the world. Why? Why are we doing that? How is it? Who protects us? Anybody? Anybody backing us? NATO? Nope. Don't you love when they just say these things? And they back us. Really? Really? Rudy Giuliani was saying that Iranian kids at the age of 2 are told to hate America or something like that. Okay, that's not good. Let's think what we tell our kids at the age of 2, especially in public school. You want to go there? Anybody? See, save your bumper stickers. It doesn't work with me. It just doesn't. Because then you'll have me listen to what you're saying. And then I'll be thinking to myself, wait a minute, that's not. Look, I mean everybody well. I wish them the best. There's that, follow that. This is that link of Mrs. Ellamy yesterday. But do me a favor. I'm American. We'll work here. Not a penny to any other foreign countries. None. Now remember, when you arm a country to kill other people, then you've created a new enemy in those people who one day are going to come into this country with a pipe bomb or something, no big deal, and wreak all kinds of holy havoc. Is that worthwhile? Is that in our best interest? We have enough enemies as it is. Believe me, you would never want to see me as your president. You would not recognize this country. All right, your friends, you have a great and glorious day. Don't forget to follow Lynn's Warriors. PrepareWithLionel.com. Get ready. The rest, the end is almost nigh. And I don't mean Louis and I. Have a great and glorious day, my friends. See you later. Simple people, don't forget the monkey said the show's over, sue you. Ta-ta.